The Great Tribulation Before the Warning. A blog from Father Chris, November 3rd, 2020. To speak of communism today seems almost outdated. Is not communism any longer a thing of the past? According to what the Blessed Virgin said to the visionaries of Garabandal, the answer is no. Communism will come again and will cause great pain and suffering. On the 2 nights preceding the Corpus Christi celebration in 1962, the young visionaries of Garabandal had various visions, but the visions of these nights were different from the ones they usually had. They heard screams of terror, while future events were fulfilled before their eyes. The screams of the girls were so terrible that they shocked the crowd there, causing intense fear. One witness, Malonin 10, said that these cries were not normal, especially in girls 12 or 13 years of age. The second night was the worst, when the visionary saw images of the punishment that God will send if the world does not change after the warning and the miracle. This document will only specify what the girls saw on the first of these 2 nights, which were called the Shrieking nights. On the first night, they saw the time to come before the warning, a time of great suffering for the church and for the world. Conchita was not present with the other 3 this first night, but she stormed into her house and fell to her knees with such force that she began to bleed. She saw the same things as the others, and some of the revelations seemed to have been given to her as well. Then, in the other visions, she would learn more about this particular subject. According to Garabandal, communism will again be a force that will be used with a final attempt at world domination. On September 29, 1978, Father Francis Benac interviewed Mariloli at his Massachusetts home. Here are some of the questions and answers from the interview. Father Benac: Did the Virgin speak of communism? Mariloli: Our Lady spoke often about communism. I do not remember how many times, but she said it would be a time when it would seem that communism would involve the whole world. I think it was when she told us that the priests would have trouble celebrating masses and talking about God and the divine things. Father Benac: Did Our Lady speak of people who would be put to death? Mariloli: What Our Lady said was that priests would have to hide, but I did not see whether they would be killed or not. She did not say exactly if they would be killed, but I'm sure that they would be martyred. Father Benac: Your mother told me that one night you were upstairs with your father and that you cried for an hour. Then your father said something about it. I saw something very touching. Mariloli was crying as she said, "Oh, will people suffer like this? Should people suffer like this? Oh, how it makes me suffer. Do you remember what I said at that moment?" Mariloli: It was related to communism and what was to happen in the church and to the people. Because of all these things were the precautions among the people. When the church suffers confusion, people will suffer as well. Some priests who are communists will create such confusion that people will not know what is right and what is wrong. This last statement of Mariloli should cause us admiration. It seems that little consideration has been given to the possibility that a force of evil has deliberately infiltrated the church with the intention of destroying it. The other day I was talking to Harry DeLay, author of The Miracle in Garabandal. Harry was a good friend of Father Walter Zizek, who spent 15 years in Soviet prisons and labor camps in Siberia, and lived to say all this in his book, With God in Russia. Harry visited Father Zizek, who believes in Garabandal, and on one of his visits, Father explained to him how the communists tried to recruit him, promising him all kinds of benefits if he worked as their agent in the church.